honor to be with you. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. إن شاء الله today we'll be talking about attachment and parenting style. The intention of this lecture today is to make it more interactive. So you will do all the talking today, not me, inshallah. And then first of all, please accept my apology if I didn't answer all of your questions from the first lecture. Inshallah, today I hope that I will be more interactive and it will be clear for you, inshallah. And I hope, inshallah, that we get the most benefit from it, bismillah. So in today's lecture, we'll be talking about attachment styles, parenting styles. There is a lot of other psychological tools, how to deal with kids with different ages. What are the main principles of Islam to deal with kids? What are our intentions or why we are we having kids and so on. So we'll start today with Bismillah by having these 3 questions. Can you see it? All of you, it's fine?
Mr. Dalia, could you be able to slideshow the screen? I mean, the slides. Is it possible to do a slideshow?
Okay.
People
Yes.
wanted to look at the full screen.
Yeah. Okay. 1 second. Okay, this is better?
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Okay. So for the great participants today, I will ask you some questions and please take some time. And if you want to share your answers, okay. If you don't, if you have it private, it's your choice. So the first question would be,
Dalia, could you please unmute yourself? Sister Dalia, we cannot hear you. Could you please unmute yourself?
I'm sorry. Okay, now it's fine?
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Okay, so I'm gonna repeat again. So we have here 3 questions. If you would like to share, please have a moment to answer them. If you'd like to share, okay. If you just want to keep it private, is okay. So the first question would be, what is the purpose of having children? Did you assess your readiness for parenting before you have children and your intention to get married? Did you assess yourself as being ready for this huge step? And what was your intention, or what is your current intention in raising children or having children in future, inshallah? So I'll be waiting for your answers, and be my pleasure to share the answers if any one of you wants to answer in public.
We have one answer in the chat box. I'm just reading it out. So,
Okay.
Brother Rashid says, like, to extend humanity, the ummah, the family, to have heir.
Okay. Do anyone is welcome, more than welcome to speak. If you like to speak, go ahead, please.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Rashid. I will speak just to extend what. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I just wanted to say exactly what I've written there. The first one, I think, is to extend humanity, because if we don't have children, humanity will die off. Number 2, the ummah needs to increase, and I think there is a hadith and probably the Quran also, that we must have children so that we can increase the ummah, the Muslims, and the good Muslims, of course. And thirdly, we want to have children so the family doesn't die off. And fourthly, when we die, we want our stuff. Unfortunately, we are selfish. We want our stuff to go to our own families, to our own children, to our own cousins. We don't want to give it to outsiders. And Islam, fortunately, allows you to give 1/3 of it to whoever you want, but 2/3 have to, by Sharia, go to your family. Jazakallah khairan.
MashaAllah, barakallah, brother. MashaAllah. So anyone else want to share? Please go ahead. If you like. If you don't like, then I will move forward.
Sister, do you want an answer to the other 2 questions also?
Yes, please, yes.
Did you assess your readiness for parenting? Well, we had to wait many years. I married in 81 and my first child was born in 1984. So we're trying hard. So we had 3 years to assess our readiness for parenting. We are ready, waiting for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us our favor, our gift, our hadiyah. And what was the intention? I think it's already mentioned, the intentions, all the above.
Yes.
All the above.
Yes. Barakallahu feek, brother Joshua. Okay. Anyone else want to share?
Somebody again texted in the chat box. So
Okay.
Sister Faz was mentioning to fulfill maternal instinct, and Sister Aisha was she mentioned they are a great blessing. So yeah, these are the 2 answers.
Okay. To raise positive citizens. Yes, very good. Yes, inshallah. They are fullness of eyes. Yeah, I agree with you. Alhamdulillah. They are blessing, fullness of eyes. MashaAllah. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so So before we start what is attachment and everything, there are some crucial points here that we need to discuss before doing anything. First of all, the family dynamics. So how is it our family at home? Is it being supportive? Is it being critical? Do we encourage open discussions or honesty? Being proud of our Muslim identity, not being ashamed of showing our identity to others, especially for the people who are living in the Western cultures. All of the family dynamics that what happens at home really affects children. So no matter what we are doing next, the first step is to watch our family dynamics and how we communicate in a positive way so they can, replicate us and imitate us, because kids are imitating others easily. Now, the next factor is time management and burnout. Are you being a burnout father or a burnout mother? So they say like you can't pour from an empty cup. And this is what we will discuss today, inshallah, how to have the balance, how to get ourselves recharged so we can serve more and enjoy our presence with our kids, inshallah. Then we have the financial stress. How do we manage our financial issues? Is it burdening us? Is it a burden of us? Because whenever we have any of these aspects not in sync or not correct, then it will definitely replicate or show some negative effects on our kids. Then home environment, which is related to family dynamics as well. How is the home environment? Is it welcoming? Home is tend to be a shelter for kids, a safe place to share their emotions, to share with the parents. So are we providing such encouraging home environment, not criticizing, not belittling children? And we'll discuss all of these in this lecture, inshallah. What about the spiritual or the Islamic principles? Are we applying Islam in our home? Are the kids seeing us relying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How do we handle our stress so we can be a role model? Are we returning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in challenging situations? or are we just talking to them and not doing this? They see us completely different. Like, you have to rely on Allah and everything, and once we have any problem, we start collapsing and being angry and, you know, losing our temper and everything. So the kid is not convinced anymore of our conversation later because we didn't apply it on ourselves. All of these, how is the home environment? Then emotional challenges and how we regulate our emotions, how we can regulate our emotions and, you know, present a good example again for our kids. So we can't say, you can be angry and then the next second they see us, you know, just burst in anger. So, you know, they will not resonate what we are saying, you know. And then this is very crucial, different parenting. Are we agree? Are the mother and father, are they in sync and have the same goals, shared goals together, and you know, following the same or being on the same page? Are they or they have different parenting styles? Like, the mother is saying no, where the father is saying yes, and then the child is completely lost, and which is disorganized parenting style, and we'll see this later. So before we start, we need to just, you know, have a quick reflection on these factors and what's missing or what goes wrong in these different aspects. Yeah, and then again, before we start, we need to know some of the things which are crucial, simple, but yet very effective. Like, for example, of course, there are two you know, principles here. First of all, I would like to address the impact of mobile devices and excessive screen time on children, and this is what I'll explain now. And the other factors that we have to put in mind, of course, genetics, environment, breastfeeding, all of these are affecting our children, you know, diet, sleep, intelligence, and socio-economic status. So genetics, of course, plays a huge role in children. Environment, how are their nutrition and diet? Of course, they have to be balanced diet, no junk food and everything, which we'll explain later. And then sleep is very important. You know, I have subhanallah, a case, you know, the girl was 14 years old, and she was always jumpy and very irritated and everything. So one of the reasons actually was that she just simply, you know, didn't have time to sleep, you know, very disorganized sleeping pattern, and the diet wasn't there. There is no nutrition, you know, good healthy food. So when she started to go on a proper diet and sleeping well, most of her anger and disturbance, you know, started to fade away. So this is huge factors, you know, affecting children. Okay, so now I would like to start by showing the impact of excessive screen time on children. First of all, there is a study, has a reduced brain development. There is a study by the National Institute found that children who spent more than 2 hours a day, can you imagine just 2 hours a day on screen, scored lower on language and thinking tests. Okay, so how many hours our kids consuming on the internet? If it's only 2 hours a day, is already affecting their brain development. Second, increased risk of mental health issues. Again, excessive screen time, which is more than 3 hours a day, especially browsing social media and, you know, all of these, has linked to increased rates of depression, anxiety, and even suicidal tendency among teens. And this will also explain later in cases what are the effect of media on children. And I see this every day. Now, sleep disruption, the internet, excessive internet using is causing sleep disruption, mood disorders, obesity, because they always want to sit down and, you know, just relaxing, doing nothing. Okay. So I have a question here. Yes, Brother Rashid. Yes, please go ahead.
Sister. Yes, I'm looking at what effect it has on children. Surely it has not dissimilar, that means similar on us as adults. Do you have any figures of comparative science about effects on adults? Surely we are, if we spend more than 2 hours a day on screens and television,
yeah,
maybe our development may not be reduced because we're adults already, but the brain never stops developing. It changes, it's pliable. Right till the day we die, it changes. And same with risk of mental health issues. If you spend too much time, they found in adults that people who spend too much time on television already are having difficulties with things like what you call that Alzheimer's.
yeah.
There's a higher incidence. Similarly with sleep disruption, if we sleep less than 7 hours a day, all these problems happen to us as adults also, and behavioral problems also, attention,
Yes.
etc. What's your feelings about that?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely right. Of course. You know, the same studies which was conducted on adults has the same effects, of course, because in this lecture we are focusing on children, so that's why I you know, applied on kids. But yeah, of course, for me, for example, if I just sat for long hours, then I started to have even body aches, you know, even depressed, because, you know, you don't get exposed to the sun. You just, you know, being on the same state all day, having back pain, and yeah, exactly. Being isolated, you know, if you go to, subhanAllah, if you go to any place now, anywhere, just notice and observe people, they, all of them, most of them on just on the phone cell, you know, on their phones, doing something or talking on the phone. There's no real interaction. People are walking on the streets, not looking at each other anymore, because they are all consumed on internet, on chatting and everything. And if kids are, you know, staying with their parents for visiting their grandparents or something, they also are on very preoccupied with their devices. They are not sharing much, you know. Yeah, of course, the effects are same for young kids and adults. I totally agree with you, brother. So, sister, sorry, I have a question here in chat box. Sister Anisha, can you help me? This is Sister Sayeda,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's to say it. Can you read the question or should I read it aloud?
Yeah, sure. What is the healthy sleep time for 24-year-old? Okay, that is an interesting question. Inshallah, I can share with you more, bi'idhnillah. You know, the ideal sleep hours is between 7 to 8 for adults. Okay. However, I can share with you more about this, inshallah. What is, or I can share it as in the group, because it has a lot of theories and has a lot of age differences. So inshallah, I can share with you, Sister Bi'idhnillah, right after the presentation. Is it okay? Okay. Yes, so we'll move forward with behavioral problems. Of course, excessive screen time is associated with higher rates of attention disorders, aggression, and difficulties with emotional regulation. And let me tell you again something about this. It's very crucial, and I saw it really scary, because one of the kids I know very well, okay, he's, I think, 9 or 10 years old. He was very, you know, calm and lovable. And once he started having a mobile and started to have an excessive screen time, this kid, subhanAllah, totally changed. Like, I've seen different kid now. He, started being aggressive, jumpy, on edge all the time, screaming, and subhanAllah, totally changed. So again, this is the huge, crucial bad effects of excessive screen time on children when it comes to aggression and emotional regulation. Okay, so let's move on. Yeah, I have a question for you. Okay, so I'm gonna read these cases here, if you see here, and I want you to share with you and take your opinions. I'm sorry. What are the behind causes or the causes behind these problems? Okay, so the first case here we have a 14-year-old girl is experiencing bullying, resulting in low self-esteem and difficulties in regulating her emotions, frequent feelings of being on edge. She has begun engaging in self-harm behaviors, even such as cutting. Additionally, her mother is emotionally unavailable. So I would love to have your opinion on that. What do you think the causes behind her disturbance? Please share.
May I have a go with somebody ahead of me in the queue so I can get them a chance?
Okay. Again, brother, sorry?
Okay, now I was wondering, I don't want to, I need to give others a chance, but if nobody else has got a hand up, I can give my input on it.
It's okay. It's okay. You can go ahead and then we'll listen to others,
Okay.
inshallah.
There's two major problems I see: the bullying and the absent effect of the mother emotionally.
Okay.
These one by itself is big enough, but when they come two, they become additive, and 1 + 1 becomes 3 in this case.
Yeah, yeah. So you mean there are a lot of factors here that contributing to her attitude or disturbance? Yes, exactly. Jazakallah khair. Okay, Sister Saida is saying low self-esteem, loss of security. Yes, true, very true. But what caused this, sister? Why she has why is she experiencing low self-esteem or loss of security? What do you think? Sister Jamila saying no means to cope with the stress. Yeah, very good. Exactly. Yes, thank you, Sister Jamila. Yes. Sometimes kids, they don't know what to do, you know. So Sister Saida, yes, please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, sister. Please go ahead.
Alhamdulillah. I think really as perspective as a mother, because if the mother is emotionally unavailable, so probably the kid doesn't have a safe zone or a comfort place where he feels secure.
Yeah, yeah. So because the mother is unavailable, which is very hurtful, of course she's causing or having this disturbance. Okay, sister, I want to ask you
Yeah.
another question and all of the participants. What do you think of the sentence is when the mother is saying, no, she only needs my attention, or she only, grabbing my attention. What do you think, sister, of this sentence?
Are you asking me?
What do you think of this when the mother is saying, when I'm discussing something with her, she said like she only is doing that because she is seeking attention. What do you think of that?
I think there has to be a balance, because when the kid is very small, like he is below 2 years old, and if he
Sorry,
feels
sister, I can't
nurtured,
hear you. Can you please raise your voice? I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Can you
Is it better now?
Yeah, now it's fine. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. I think it goes back. It's not like, when the kid is 2 years old or something, And if the kid, I think this process started from there.
Yeah.
If the mother able to give him a sense of security, so the kid is still in the phase of seeking attention when he couldn't get the attention he deserved at the little stage, at the younger stage.
Yeah.
So this is going on with the process of time. This is what I feel.
Okay, mashallah. Yes, exactly. Alhamdulillah. Okay, Sister Jamila is saying the mother does not understand her daughter might be an issue of attachment style. Exactly. Okay, Jazakallah khairan for sharing. The next case here we have a 13-year-old boy is struggling with depression and loneliness. He has minimal social interaction and lacks friendships. During family gatherings, he tends to withdraw and isolate himself from others. Any sharings, please? Go ahead.
Well, as usual, since we start, I'll start.
Yes.
The fact that he has minimal social interaction and friends, and even the family, which are the main two sources of social interactivity, which is lacking completely in this child, is the main cause of his now coming into a vicious circle of no attention, no development emotionally, and making him depressed and lonely, and he doesn't therefore contact the others, and it's a vicious circle as far as I can make it.
Yeah, exactly. And very painful for a 13-year-old boy to experience. Exactly. Anyone? Sister Sayyida, she's saying problem in expression. Yes, very good. Yes, he is not maybe parents, they are always suppressing his emotion, maybe. Yes, Sister Sayyida, go ahead, please. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think because we feel at a loss in moving in social gatherings because there's an underlying fear in us that we are misunderstood.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is something there, and we feel like and we are not able to express ourselves positively. So this is where the interaction comes into a problem when you cannot express yourself positively. You feel, but you cannot express, and finally you say, what was the sense of saying all this thing because nobody will understand. So there's a problem in expression. Maybe the kid is finding it difficult to express himself, his character, his feelings in a positive way. So he feels at a loss and he feels dejected.
MashaAllah,
That is what I
yes.
feel.
Yeah, exactly, sister. You said it well said. And especially when the environment is very criticizing or giving a lot of instructions, and you shouldn't do that, and you should do that, you shouldn't say that. So the boy is, experiencing like I'm not having a safe place to express my feelings, or being loved unconditionally. Yes, very good. So we have Sister Fatima saying parents' arguments in front of kids, yes, also can cause this issue. Yeah, very true, very true. Because he's also, they are learning from us, and especially in teenage, they hate lectures. So we cannot say do that an instruction. We have to just let them see us, let them see our struggles, let them see our failures, and how we are dealing with this in a healthy way. Then maybe they can listen, But just giving them lecture and then they see us, losing our temper, everything is not helpful. Yeah, I'm totally with you. Yes, Sister Fatima, well said. Also, Sister Jamila is saying one should examine if he has traumatic experiences in the past. Yeah, mashallah, your answers are very deep. Yeah, so exactly, maybe traumatic experiences, having someone as a bully, in family gathering, and he didn't tell anyone about it or something. Yes, I totally agree with you. Okay, the last one is a 10-year-old boy is having extreme tension, often raising his voice He becomes violent when asked by his mother to complete tasks and resorts to tantrums to get what he wants. What do you think?
I think perhaps, sister, if I may say something, is that there is some other problem, I think. I don't know if he's being bullied, or maybe he's got some other problem that we do not know about, which is not mentioned here. Because why is he doing it now? He didn't do it for 9 years, and suddenly now at the age of 10, he's starting to do things, implying there's something new which is causing him to act or react to some other situation, whether it's bullying or some outside. It even could be, I'm sorry to say the word, I don't know if somebody is being sexual with him somewhere else and he's reacting in this way. Allahu Alam.
MashaAllah, yeah, interesting. Yes. So you think there is something, hidden there. Okay. Yes, I totally agree with you. Sister say the same sense of loss, of control and frustration over it. Yes, exactly. And we'll see how this is translated actually. Yes, Sister Fatima saying sometimes kids copy their parents' behavior. Yes, and parents don't realize this. Yeah, exactly. Very good. Because well spotted, Sister. Fatima. Because the mother, which I know, yeah, she's really doing this. She has anger management and all. So simply the son is just imitating her behavior. Yeah. Sister Jamila is saying educational problems. How does the mother address him with tasks? Yeah, I love that. Does she under or overestimate his skills? Yes, very good. So sometimes the boy, you mean like he wants a validation or he wants to be being heard. Yeah, or maybe protesting about the mother's behavior. Okay, Sister Saida, please go ahead.
Yeah, further to that, I feel that we'll have to look into the kind of tasks that he is falling into. It is very essential to look into that, because is it a general behavior or in a certain kind of task? So I feel that he has, a fear in him that he's not being able to do the task, or maybe he finds them too challenging, or maybe even if he completes that, he doesn't find the required appreciation after it. So there is a sense of loss of control in him, that he doesn't really want to go ahead and do that thing. But essentially, it depends on the type of tasks that are assigned to him. Essentially, maybe they are too challenging for him, and he's venting out his frustration of not being able to complete them in a way.
Okay, exactly. So maybe you're saying maybe the task is very challenging for him, or maybe he doesn't know what to do exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yes, very good. Okay, I'm sorry, I stopped sharing.
Sister, may I say something? I've just raised my hand. Could there be an absent father syndrome, perhaps, because there's no mention of a father in any way? Why the mother always seem to be giving the tasks? Where is the father? Is he absent? Is he divorced? Is he dead?
I'm sorry, brother. Again, because I have a problem with I can't hear you well. Can you say again? I'm sorry.
I said, where is the father? Why is he not mentioned? Is he absent? Is he divorced? Is he dead? Is he away from home for a long time?
Yeah, amazing.
Could that be the cause? A mother being a mother and a father because the father is unavailable to be a father.
Exactly, and this is really the case. Subhanallah, yeah, the parents, they are divorced actually. So yeah, this is one of the reasons, mashallah. So yeah, I guess your all of your contribution are amazing, mashallah, and they are very deep and on spot. Sorry, we have also another answer. Home, is it Sister Faz or Brother Faz? I'm sorry, I'm not sure with the names. Can you help me, Sister Anisha, please?
Yes, inshallah. So I think I'm also not very much sure.
Okay.
So We can just read the content, like the message
Okay,
shared by
okay,
her.
okay. So home environment, witness domestic abuse. Yes, very good. Yes, or raised by a depressed mother. Excellent. MashaAllah, wallahi. Yani, you're giving, you're a therapist, all of you, mashallah. Yeah, exactly. The mother is very depressed, and yeah, there is domestic violence, which is crucial and very sad to have. And all of your answers, mashallah, great. And I would love to add, on your answers, there are other factors, as we mentioned before. Maybe, of course, there are a lot of factors, but can you imagine that they could be also related to excessive, use of internet, which can cause emotional regulation problems, causing violence, causing isolation from family, becoming violent. So in these all three cases, the internet access of internet, besides the other factors which we'll discuss, inshallah, parenting style and all, but these also have a crucial impact on children. So I have, one girl. She was very attached with a team or a band. Okay, they are Western culture, and the American, they are, sending exploding values on our kids, like explosive. So they are very convinced with what they are saying. And one of the guys, he actually experiencing trauma, and he was saying about himself, describing himself, how he was doing himself hurt and so on. So yeah, I guess that's the problem here.
Sorry, sister, may we have the big screen, please?
Yeah, sure. 1 second. Okay. Now it's fine, okay? Can you see okay?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, and the other thing here is also when it comes to diet. Can you imagine that I also have a case, and she has very weak bones because she's always being on, eating noodles and stuff. So her bones and, her body is not being able to socialize or do exercises and everything. So this is crucial, subhanallah, although very simple. But this is crucial to have a balance in and more interaction with family, as we see here, going out, enjoying family gathering, doing an activity. All of these are contributing to healthy and social interaction. Okay, so my next question now, this sentence actually struck me, because it says a baby alone doesn't exist. Can you imagine? So if there is no parents, like subhanallah, the orphans and the people, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them victory in Palestine. I'm wondering what they are doing now. So if they are feeling alone and they're losing their parents, so it's like there is no, they are, there is no, they are not here. They doesn't exist, subhanallah. So, Ameen, inshallah, Ameen. So, what do you think, brother and sister? What is an attachment? What do you have? MashaAllah, I love to hear your insights. What is an attachment?
Oh, exactly as the word says, an attachment is a connection between various people in a whole.
Yeah.
Individually between one or two, or sometimes collectively between more than two. So
Okay.
as part of a family, as part of a friendship, as part of an extended family, as part of a Kutum family, as part of a community, as part of a town, part of a village, or whatever, as part of a country, an international connection. That is initial answer to what is an attachment. Then, of course, you have other attachments, whether they are psychological attachments, they are social, they are financial, they are monetary, they are educational attachments, and a whole host of other attachments.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Thank you, brother, for sharing. Anyone else here want to share? Yes, Sister Saida, please go ahead.
Yeah, before sharing anything, I would like to ask Brother Rashid, are we talking about emotional attachment? Are we talking about dependence or codependence?
Well, both, I
So
suppose.
Oh, okay. Because to me, attachment would be like, it is a to and fro process. You know, the people who depend on you and you depend on them. So it is like a to or fro relationship. So if you can like achieve that, that is a real attachment.
Okay, mashallah. So you think attachment is something reciprocal? It goes both ways. This is what you mean,
Yeah,
sister, right? Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. In a healthy way, we mean, right? Yes. Yes. All right. Anyone else before I just go on? Okay. So I'm sorry to distract you, but I have to just remove this and then come back to slideshow again. Yeah. So of course, there's a definition in psychology. It says an enduring emotional bond which an individual forms with another person, and they say it's it's not reciprocal. Not they are not talking about healthy or not healthy, but like the infants, they have tendency, subhanallah, an inborn fitra for an attachment to a giver or a caregiver, usually the mother. Okay. One of the other concepts of attachment, it's the state of mind of the mother. This is what I like about this statement. It's the state of mind of the mother as she thinks about and delivers care, including the feeding of her baby, not whether the feeding is breast or bottle, that fundamentally determines whether the baby will be a securely attached toddler. Of course, I have some concerns about this statement, but just let us take the essential or the main concept here. So, for example, I'm going to give you an example for that. If there are two mothers, one of them is feeding her baby with love and with, giving herself fully for her baby, and the other one who is breastfeeding as well, but she's just doing it out of, a duty, just, yeah, I have to do it and that's all. What do you think? Is it the way of feeding, or is it the emotions that, lies in between? What do you think?
Both. I think both. How you feed
Yeah.
the person, the baby, what you feed the baby, whether you use breastfeeding or bottle feeding, because bottle feeding may satisfy a caloric requirement, but the emotional requirement is completely divorced in bottle feeding.
Yes, exactly. And of course, subhanAllah, when Allah said that breastfeeding is a must for 2 years, then we cannot debate anything more, So what I love to do in secular psychology is I'm taking what they are saying, but then I still, of course, we still have our own principles, Islamic principles that we have to be proud of, because this is Allah saying, alhamdulillah. So yes, and then we have another statement which says attachment is a process not dependent on any single event or specific parenting practice. And this is, inshallah, we'll discuss at the end of the lecture. It's a process. It's not like you do that and you do this and that's it, So it's a process and learning process, actually. A child-directed interaction, the most precious gift we can offer anyone is our attention. So this is a clear answer for some of the mothers who are saying that the baby or the kid maybe is seeking attention. We all need attention, right? So who doesn't? Even when talking to people, they like to talk. We like to talk. We like to gain an attention. This is essential. Subhanallah. Okay, so let's move forward. Yeah, emotional needs and developmental milestones by age group. What do you think? Can you just summarize what are the needs or emotional needs for each age group? If we just divide them in infants, then teenagers, then infants, no, maybe school year ages. What do you think? Do you have any contribution, please?
As usual, if I may speak first, probably because I've been many more years and decades than the rest of the people in the group.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
So
Yes.
So if you talk of an infant or a child, they of course have the need to be protected and provided with what all their needs are, whether it's hygienic needs, it's caloric needs, or emotional needs, or feeding needs, or cleanliness needs, or comforting needs, or pain relieving needs, etc. Whereas if you take a child who is older, who is independent, relatively speaking, they can help themselves to the fridge and take food out and heat it and eat it, they have completely different needs. They have more perhaps emotional needs. They need to have parents who can say, yes, my child, you've done beautifully, you've done well, you are wonderful. And if you are wrong, they are correcting you also, not saying that whatever you are doing is correct. You need to show your children there is a line, do not cross that line.
Yes, agree. Totally agree with you, brother. Jazakallah khairan. Sister Sayeda is saying, isn't the mother also receiving warmth of the baby? So isn't that also reciprocal? Yeah, exactly. But when they said attachment, it's not reciprocal, means that the infant may be attached to the mother, where the mother is, not being giving back to the child, So that's what they mean. So it means that the infant will be still attached to the mother, although she's not giving them, especially in the early years. But then we will see the effect of unavailable parents and unavailable, emotionally available mothers. Okay. How does the stepfather form an attachment with stepchild? Wow, it's an amazing question. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna just answer it very quickly, and then inshallah maybe we can discuss this more in other sessions bi'idhnillah, when it comes to social development, inshallah. Yeah, I think first of all, the mother has to be very careful when choosing a stepfather. First of all, she needs to make sure that he is compassionate. He is doing this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he's taking a huge ajr from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to raise a child not his own. So intentions is very important here, subhanallah. And when the child sends sincerity from the stepfather, I think it will be, naturally he will be attached to him. Because subhanAllah, kids are brilliant and very smart in sensing emotions and intentions of others. So I think this is, tawfiq and from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And of course, there are other techniques that we can share more with that to make them being attached, or at least being familiar with each other. Sister Sayeda, please, yes, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to pose a little question, and I would like you to shed some light on it.
Yes.
I think that emotional needs, the basic emotional needs, they remain the same throughout the age of a person, but the expression of those needs varies, but in the childhood, he needs the expression of those emotional needs in certain way. When he grows up, he needs in certain way. And also, I think that with the process of time, this burden of, I don't really want to use this word as a burden, but the responsibility of fulfillment of those emotional needs, it gets dispersed. Like, for example, the kid is, for him, only the mother or the father is responsible, and as he grows up, this responsibility spreads to his colleagues, friends, and then it spreads out. So this responsibility is then dispersed off to different level. So am I right in perceiving it this way?
Yeah, sure. Of course, yes, mashallah, you're having great insights. Yes, I totally agree with you. It's just have a lot of factors and with different ages, exactly. Anyone else you want to share? Okay. So here I'm sorry for if the screen or the is not clear, but this is one of Erickson is one of the famous psychologists, and he actually divided the needs of individuals based on their age groups. So, for example, we have from 0 to 2 years, we have trust versus mistrust. So the infants, they started to build an idea of what are caregivers. And their main question or major question here, can I trust the word? Can I trust the word through the mother or the caregiver? So children develop a sense of trust in the world and the people who are supposed to care for them. And if this is not accomplished or failed, then he will experience or leads to a sense of distrust in the world and do not believe when others are being dependable. So let's take this for example. If the mother is not there and if the baby keeps crying for hours and no one there to attend him, so he will develop a mistrust in the world in general because the world is cruel, no one is taking care of me, and so on. All right, and then we have autonomy versus shame and doubt, and this is actually from years 2 to 4. The major question at this age: can I do things myself, or must I rely on others? And this is really crucial because this is here the virtue of will. Children develop a sense of independence and personal control at this age, from 2 to 4. What does it mean? It means, for example, if you just give him a plate or even having something to eat, grab something in his hand, and then I take it from you, or I start criticizing him, or I feed him by myself. So all of these actually is destroying his autonomy. He wants to do something. He wants to have trust in his abilities. So can you imagine just very simple action? This can transfer him to being shame and doubtful. Why I'm not grabbing this apple and maybe hold this biscuit and eat it? What's wrong with me? So children may be left with feelings of doubt and shame over their own abilities. They cannot trust their abilities at this age. And then we have another, from 4 to 5 years, initiative versus guilt. This is here. Can I don't know if it's relative with you or not, but sometimes you sense like I'm feeling guilty all the time, and you don't know where this comes from. So it comes from very early on, from ages 4 to 5. Something is there. So in this age, the major question is it okay for me to do things? There is a purpose here. Okay, successful outcome. Kids develop a sense of purpose and the motivation to try new things. So they want to try new things. Like, I'll give you an example. Maybe the kids started to have a training on the bike. They want to, learn how to ride a bike. And then the mother is like helicopter, which is one of the parenting style, worrying too much. No, be careful. You will fall down. And so on. So this is making him feeling guilty if the mother is giving too much instructions or not giving him, having the initiative to do something. An unsuccessful outcome results in children are left with feelings of guilt and lack of initiative. And this also can happen in schools or nursery or whatever, you know. They just make fun of the children, or when he started taking first step, someone is ridiculing him or whatever. So he started having guilt and lose interest in trying anymore. Then we have industry and versus inferiority, and this is from ages 5 to 12. How can I be good? This is self-image about himself, competence. Successful outcome, success leads to feeling of competence. He is able, he can do this. He's feeling being proud of himself. Failure leads to feelings of inferiority. So, subhanAllah, this is also huge and crucial, because this is where you see people maybe at the company, you know, when they are growing up. You see some people, they are very being confident. They can attend meeting confidently, and they can talk with confidence. And others, subhanAllah, they are being shy or are being, trembling voice or whatever, can't face people. All of these things coming again from early on, 5 to 12 years old. He felt like he is incompetent. He cannot be worthy of talking or worthy of anything, you know. Then we have 12 to 19, which is teenage years, identity versus role confusion, which is major crisis, of course, we know in adolescence. Why? Who am I? Who am I? And successful outcomes, teens develop a strong sense of self, and unsuccessful teens may emerge from this stage not sure of who they are. So if the parent is inconsistent, sometimes they are praising the kid, the kid, and saying, "Wow, you're amazing, you're great," and then the next day you're a failure, you disappointed me, you make me sad, you know. So they started to sense, what is wrong with me? Who am I? Who am I? And we will discuss there more, inshallah, in this lecture with the crisis of the people, individuals with different ages. Now, when it comes to 20 to 40, now, intimacy versus isolation. Can I love and be loved? This is the age or the years of wanting to have a family of our own, finding love and intimacy and so on. Adults are able to form loving and lasting relationship with others. Failure at this age can lead to feelings of loneliness and isolation. And then we have later stages, 40 to 65, generativity versus stagnation, which is, what can I contribute to the world and care? How can I, transfer my experience, my everything to the next generation? And then failure to do this leads to feel uninvolved in the world, and they started to withdraw from the community. And we can maybe, inshallah, discuss adulthood because this is crucial years, and how we can age successfully. Actually, this is a crucial thing, because this is an underlying depression, maybe. Subhanallah. And then we have integrity versus despair, which is 65 until death. Was my life a good one? You start having like life review. Was my life really good? Was my life worthy, fulfilled? How is my relations with others? So older adults look back at their lives with a sense of satisfaction if they have, integrity. They feel integrity. If they feel despair, that because lead them to look back at their lives with regrets, sorrow, and bitterness. And not all people accepting aging in a healthy way, you know. So this is, I think, a very crucial matter to discuss, inshallah, in later sessions with Ibn. So Sister Fatima, Jazakumullah khairan for your feedback, alhamdulillah. Okay, so inshallah we'll Yeah, we'll move on. Please take 5 minutes to think and reflect on these questions. What is your self-talk about yourself as a person? Okay, and as a mother or father. If you know, this exercise is totally private, and the most important thing is honesty. So if you want to share, okay. If you don't, just write it down on a paper, please, so we can, inshallah, have these beliefs tackled and give you, inshallah, tools to overcome them, bi'idhnillah. And the second question, what is your inner self-talk towards your daughter or son? For example, I may have this constant belief that my daughter is not respecting me, or that she's very stubborn, you know. So what's your inner self-talk or your inner self-image about your daughter or son? So I'll give you some time to write it down, or if you would like to share, I would be happy to share, inshallah.
May we start sharing now?
Yeah, please, if you like. Yes, please, go ahead, brother. Thank you for your contribution.
What is your self-talk about yourself as a person and father in my case? Well, I'd like to, as a father, be an example, first of all, to myself, and then to my wife, and then to children who, of course, do not live with us, that we need to follow the rules of Sharia as far as possible, like praying
Yes.
on time, be a good Muslim, good example to the West of what Islam is. And also to anybody that you meet on your travels, whether you're going to the bus stop or you're walking to the shop or wherever, engage with people and speak about Islam and let them know that Muslims are what we are, not what the newspaper says we are. Very, very important, I think. Because so much nowadays we find that unfortunately, I don't like to be negative, but the whole world seems to be Islamophobic to me if you are not a Muslim.
Yeah.
Even Muslims themselves are acting in ways to bring Islamophobia to themselves because of their actions. Because George Bernard Shaw won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1925, and he said Islam is the best religion, but the Muslim the worst example of it.
Yes, I totally 100% agree. Yes.
Yes. So this is about myself. Then about your inner self-talk toward my son. Well, he's 40 and he's far away in another country, but he speaks to us almost every day. And we interact with each other. He tells me my mistakes, I tell him his mistakes. But we also say positive things to each other so that we are showing that there is goodness in you. Carry on doing the good things, but consider doing less of the not so good things.
Okay. Okay.
And this,
yes,
and this also, of course, also applies to anybody else, because everybody out there who is a young person, my son's age, is like a son or daughter to me.
Okay.
So I like to spread these when I go to Islamic meetings where we are learning new Islamic things, that don't keep it to yourself. If there's something good, share it, because that's what as a Muslim we should do. Jazakallah khairan.
Jazakallah khairan, brother. Okay. Anyone wants to share? Okay, so let's move forward. Yeah, now we have some statements here. So first of all, I would like to ask your opinions. What do you think about being interactive? Do you prefer it, or shall we go on just explaining only? What do you think?
Interactivity may be better, I feel.
Okay, okay, okay. Whenever you are feeling comfortable, there is no pressure at all. Okay, all right. So messages we deliver in sentences. When we say for kids, you should know better. He just wants my attention. It's not a big deal. You're very sensitive. You never or you always do that. You know, when we say to our kids these sentences, you make me sad when you do that. Just let me do it. Would you just stop talking? You are, and then insert whatever label. You are a liar, you are a deceiver, you are whatever, you are lazy. Okay. It's silly to be afraid of this or disappointed when a kid is just maybe coming to you and asking you about your opinion of something or expressing his emotions, and it may be very, you know, you think this is nothing, but for him this is his world, you know. So what the messages we are delivering here. So what do you think of these statements, brothers and sisters? Barakallahu feekum.
Very negative, as far as I can make out. Very, very negative. You should know better. Yeah.
Yeah.
As Sister Sayyida also said, it's very negative. And children end up being what you call them. If you say to a child all the time, you are bad, you are bad, you are bad, they end up being bad, and they'll start living being bad. If you say to them, you are good, you are good, you are good, they want to be better. If you tell them you are bad, you are bad, you are bad, they want to be worse.
Yeah, exactly. SubhanAllah. Yes, yes. You know, it happened with me actually when I was teaching school, and I see people, some teachers, not all of them, alhamdulillah, but they are labeling the students, and SubhanAllah, once you give him the, otherwise and try to treat him differently, he completely changed. They will completely change, trying to prove to you and to themselves that they are worthy and they were being, you know, treated ill. Yeah. Sister Saida saying, oh my God, these are negative statements. Yes, can you help us reword them? Reword them. Yes, this is the next one. Exactly. And sometimes, subhanAllah, and let's be honest here, sometimes we say it out of, even we don't realize what we are saying. Yani sometimes we say this, sometimes, not all of them, but we might say, you know, just be quiet for a little, or just, you know, we might say, would you just stop talking when we are having, thinking over and, you know, being burnout or whatever. So how we can handle this? I know this is a little bit longer. I'm just going to read some here, and I will send you the presentation to go with them more, inshallah. So let's take, for example, number one, take a moment and try to understand things from their perspective. Saying something like, you seem really scared or frustrated or disappointed right now, and this is the answer for question, it's silly to be afraid or disappointed. So in this case, what we would say, we will try to understand the whole situation from their perspective. This is number one. We might say something like, you seem really scared or frustrated or disappointed right now. Should we talk about it and figure out what to do? This is the right response. You know, you have to validate first his emotions without judgment. Don't judge this. It's silly. Yeah, it might be silly for us, but not for them. Then ultimately, you're helping them label their emotions. This is the self-regulation. And I had a workshop, inshallah, maybe we can share emotion regulation, how to deal with our emotions and kids' emotions. Because this is very important. And there are tools in that. Because sometimes the parents, you know, burn out, and I don't have time to answer them with this question. Just, you know, I just want to get over with, you know. And this happens, and let's be realistic. This happens. So how we can deal in a realistic yet healthy way? Should we talk about it and figure out what to do? Yeah, we are helping them label their emotions. Important part of developing emotional intelligence and making it clear that you are there for them. You know, this is the message we want to deliver. I'm here for you. I will listen to you. I will not be ridiculing your concerns. And you can go on with the all the answers for the other statements, inshallah, with the presentations. I found them very helpful. And if you have any more questions, please send it to me. Inshallah, I will answer them. I promise, inshallah. Okay. Now, messages we deliver in action or beliefs. So the first one was in sentences, what do we say? And this is in actions and beliefs. For example, we are always trying to make them happy all the time, making empty threats, you know, being too strict or too permissive, telling them you will leave them behind if they don't cooperate, rushing to help too soon, withholding affection or ignoring them sometimes, shutting down their feelings. Not now, you shouldn't, as we discussed before, it's very silly to think of that or whatever. It's nothing, Forgetting to name their behavior and blaming the child. Forgetting that apologies go both ways. So it's okay if we made a mistake, and it's wonderful that we can share also our apology to them. This is not will make us, being down or something. Will not affect our authority. No. Not allowing them to be responsible. Like I'm doing all the things for them. They are not taking any part of home chores or, taking care of their of themselves. SubhanAllah, I had a mother. Her son was in high school. Okay, can you imagine that she is waking up every day to make the breakfast for him, and just like a baby, and he never went to the kitchen or prepare anything, and she was so scared to even let him use public transportation. So this is really sad, and the child started to be aggressive, rebellious, right? And subhanAllah, deep down, he started to hate the mother, because he sees his other, friends and everyone is having their own freedom. So all of these core beliefs, of course, we need to work on them. And here are also some of the alternatives to our beliefs. For example, in the number one, trying to make them happy all the time. Parents desire to keep their children happy all the time, shielding them from any discomfort or challenges may seem caring, but can hinder their development. Constantly giving in to their demands and preventing anything negative from happening might prevent them from building the resilience needed to navigate life's ups and downs. Without experiencing setbacks or challenging, children may struggle to develop necessary skills to cope with complex situations in the future. And I see this very vividly in corporate or in organizations. You seem to see some people who are very fragile, and you wonder why they are not, being strong or resilient, because of parenting style. Because maybe one of the parents was very overprotective. I'll come with you to school to solve this problem. I'll talk to the friend of yours so they will not hurt you again. These are all, let's call it unhelpful and maladaptive behavior. They should find their own solution. And let me tell you from Islamic perspective, why not make the child go research online and find the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how is he is dealing with similar situation, like maybe bullying, and let them come with their own solutions. Okay, and not only by talking, they should also see us do the same. So if I'm facing challenges in my life, then he or she seeing me praying and do a lot of research, studying Sira and contribute with them. This is amazing, and it will make your connection even stronger, and they see you as a role model. So it's amazing to sit with your kids and say, subhanallah, you see, I had a very discomfort emotion the night before, and I started to make dua, and subhanallah, I found the solution, and I found the Prophet ﷺ is doing a great job losing his sons and going an year of sadness amazingly, and he had subhanallah amazing self-regulation and so on. So this will first have the barakah and blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Second, they will be more aware of our Islamic principles, and they will increase them in faith. And subhanAllah, this is the blessing of applying to the Islamic principle. Alhamdulillah. So you can go through with the others narratives or alternatives for the core beliefs, inshallah. Yeah, I want to, yeah, if anyone have a question here, please go ahead. Sister Saida is saying, where is the balance? Okay, can you please talk and I didn't get your question. Please, if you explain, Sister Saida.
Yeah, I think one has to be emotionally connected with the child, and you should encourage them, while the children should be also given a set of boundaries, strict boundaries, and there are certain areas where, you know, they are certainly no-go areas. That's it. So you have to find a right balance. Sometimes it is okay to give an explanation if they can understand, and sometimes you have to put your foot down that this is it. So there has to be a balance, you know. I personally think there has to be a balance.
Okay, can you give me an example, please, of the things that have boundaries? Like what?
For example, if maybe you're 7, 8 years old, or maybe I have a 24-year-old son. Okay, so you know, I give him a lot of room and independence of making his own decision. But I know that this area, for example, if he is going to certain haram thing, or the consequences of certain business transaction which are not feasible by Sharia. So even if he doesn't understand it, maybe he has a bit a lack of knowledge, or maybe he is too enthusiastic on pursuing something. So I have to put a check, you know, for the time being, you have to leave it. That's it. And with the process, maybe we can discuss it, maybe we'll come to the same solution. But at the moment, you just have to leave it. That's it. So, I mean, in that sense, you have to have certain boundaries, you know. I feel that, you know, the modern psychology is having that kind of an impact that you become friends of your children in such a way that you lose your sense of authority also. So that has to be there, you know. This is what I mean.
Okay, that's great. But let me tell you something, sister. You know, even using your voice, using your tone of voice, all of these contribute to the authority. Okay, so I love this approach of we call it tough love, you know, like being compassionate and everything. At the same time, as you said, setting boundaries is important. And let me tell you something which is really will help us. If we start early on and making like planning ahead, you know, for example, when it comes to Islamic perspectives or Islamic principles, I truly encourage that we can raise our children on the Islamic values before the situation comes. So they know already what is haram or what is permissible. So in Islamic psychology, the researchers are encouraging to have family circle, right, at home. You know, inviting the righteous people, have open discussions, debate questions. Of course, it's graded because, mashallah, you have younger ages. So maybe artwork will work more. Like maybe having pillars of Islam, pillars of Iman, color and drawing and coloring. You know, it's graded with different based on different ages. And subhanallah, I see two examples, you know, present in front of me. There's I don't know if you know her. She's very popular on social media. Her name is Fatima, and she has a younger sister, and they are the two of them memorized Quran fully from age maybe 2 or 3, and the elder sister is having a recording with her younger sister, and they traveling the world and meeting people, and they memorize the Quran, and they have discussions, and the brilliance of the younger sister, she's doing it in amazing and lovable way. So sometimes she give her younger sister some present, and she asking her Islamic questions. And whenever she answered them, she give her a treat or a gift or something. So, you know, this loving environment, I doubt if then later on when a situation comes in, I doubt they will know, they will know that how to deal in, or they already know haram from halal already. They know it already by love and encouraging environment. So I hope inshallah that answered the balanced question.
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair, Sister Dalia.
Jazakallah khairan. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so I have a question for you. What do you do as a parent or father, fathers and mothers? How do you comfort your children when they are upset, ill, hurt, or distressed? Any of these cases, what do you usually do for them? So I give you an example. If you are maybe outside, okay, and the baby or the child started to throw tantrums, for example, what would you do?
Okay, I'm a grandfather, but I have a grandchild who has tried to throw tantrums sometimes. And although we make dua, first of all, at every salah that this must not continue in the future, the more important thing is how the parents deal with it. Because I'm an absentee grandfather. I'm in another country altogether. I only see them maybe twice, 2 months in a year. So it's important when I do see them to do the same thing that the parents are doing. And that is have of course, you should have a red line beyond which things may not happen. But if a child throws a tantrum, there's a reason why they're throwing a tantrum. No child throws a tantrum because they want to throw a tantrum. It's a response to something which has happened in their life, either something you have done, or something that you haven't done, or what somebody else has done, or what somebody else hasn't done. So we need to try and get them aside and speak to them, ask them, why are you doing this? What is your reason for this? You don't usually throw tantrums. This is unusual. Could you tell me why you're throwing a tantrum? And maybe this may be a way to prevent it in future.
Okay, interesting. Jazakallah khairan, brother. Sister Jamila is saying, mirror their feelings, validate their feelings. Yes, okay, that's amazing. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So let's see. Okay.
Sorry, sister, you've gone to the small screen again. Could you make it large?
Yeah. I'm just removing the label here and then.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Okay. So yeah, what else we have here? Any responses before I read? Sister Fatima is saying, sorry, Sister Jamila is still saying, avoid asking why, trying to calm them down. Yes. Sister Fatima is saying, first checking, are they hungry? Yeah, I love that. Did they have proper sleep? Yes, exactly as we discussed earlier. Providing alternative things which they are upset about. Explanation. Yes, very good. MashaAllah. Okay, thank you for sharing. Yeah, so holding or hugging the child, soft soothing voices. Okay, so if he's angry, I wouldn't, it will not be helpful if I raise my voice higher, you know. Gentle, calming touch, looking in their eyes, reassuring that everything will be okay, showing understanding. All of these are helpful responses. Not to do hushing. Stop doing that. Like hushing is not a good thing to do. Laughing at, okay, if they are maybe you feel like their pain is nothing or something, or you start laughing at them, making fun of mocking. Of course, this is very severe act. I think I doubt there's any parent will do that. Overreacting and panicking. Yeah, when this happens actually, when the parents, when the child maybe fell down, okay, and parents start panicking and losing their emotions. This is not a good thing to do. Ignoring, yeah, the child is ill or something, and you know, going back to this statement, he just or she just needs my attention, so you ignore it altogether. This is very helpful. Asking our children to comfort us, and this is what we'll see later in a video, inshallah. I hope, inshallah, it will open. It's all about me. It's all about my emotions. Don't make me sad. Don't make me disappointed. So I think this is not a very helpful way to interact with kids. Yes, Sister Sayyida, please go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question, Dalia. Don't the tantrum, you know, it is like an extreme trait, you know, when the kid doesn't know how to express positively. So do you think that tantrums usually have a history behind them, you know?
Again, and last question, what?
Do you agree that, you know, these tantrums, they are like extreme emotions, you know, and they basically start being the child is not able to express himself positively. So do you think that tantrums, they usually have a history behind them?
Of course, yes. You know, it has two causes. The first cause is, as you said, it's lack of self-expression. Okay. Sometimes, subhanallah, it's like revenge. Like maybe the mother is always being critical of her child in front of others. So the child is taking a revenge and want to be make his mother in a shameful position, right? Especially goes with teenagers. They do that actually. And sometimes it's just being manipulation, pure manipulation. And this is what we will talk about. And this is purely in psychology with behaviorist researchers. They said that the acting out of kids sometimes is like manipulation. And they are trusting us, trying to push our buttons, you know. So if we handle this with wisdom, then he will stop doing that. So we will talk about the techniques when we go a step further, inshallah, this lecture. Yes. So I totally agree with you. Okay. Yeah, now we have here parenting styles. Sorry, attachment styles. So the first one here, we have secure internal working model. And secure attachment leads to what? So let's define what is a secure attachment. Anyone for sharing, please? Do you want to share? What do you think of the secure attachment?
Well, a secure attachment is an attachment where the child feels, first of all, that if I have a problem, I can go to my parent and a parent will help me with the negotiated with me to try and reach a solution which will prevent my feelings of inadequacy and hopelessness and whatever. And secure attachment also means that I can do certain things knowing that if I don't cross the boundary or approach very close to the boundary, my parents will agree with me and will not scold me and will be happy with me.
Okay, all right. Jazakallah khairan. Anyone else would like to share? Sister Anisha, how about the timing? Are we okay with timing? Because I just noticed that, or shall I go quickly?
We can do it for a couple of more minutes, or maybe we can stretch it till here it is 5:30. So we can have it for 20 more minutes. Is that possible? Or
For how many
I need
minutes?
to know 20 more minutes.
Okay. Inshallah, I'll go fast now. All right. So secure attachment means that the child will feel I'm safe and secure. Someone is always there for me. My needs will be met. I'm lovable. I deserve to be taken care of. I'm proud of myself. I feel positive about exploring the world. Okay. And it leads to, of course, self-confidence, ability to manage transition. Transition means like from childhood to adolescence, and then to young adulthood and so on. A love of learning new things, an ability to ask for and accept help, security in one's own self, friendly, warm, nice people. They are becoming friendly, warm, nice people, ability to give love back. Yeah. And secure attachment happens when the first baby is born. Like when the infant is seeing that the mother is welcoming and smiling and always attending to him. And secure attachment is the researchers are describing it is being responsive to the infant's needs and immediately. So then he will start having secure attachment, that the mother is there, someone is there for me, and leads to these outcomes. Okay, then we have the avoidant internal working model, meaning that the child in the disorganized parenting style, disorganized means that sometimes I'm attending the children's needs and the other times I'm not there. So he feels like he's not sure what to do anymore, you know? So he will develop a sense in himself like no one cares about me. I'm better off looking after myself. I don't deserve to be loved. I'm better off if I suppress my feelings. I need to achieve. The world owes me, and so on. Avoidance leads to apparent, you know, self-sufficiency, like I don't need help, I can do it on my own and stuff like that. And I need to believe to achieve based on external recognition. So he's always seeking validation from others. Difficulty making close relationships, inability to ask for help. I'm not worth it. You know, sometimes people may misinterpret this personality. They may seem strong from the outside, but actually they are not. They actually feel not worthy of accepting help, you know, yearning for approval, as we said, good self-regulation, but may forget that they have feelings. Like they avoid it means like they don't like to show their emotions. They don't like to cry with someone they trust, even trust or close from, you know. And we may sometimes say that, wow, this person is strong, and this is not true. Actually, being vulnerable and being able to express your emotions, this is actually reflecting of your own peace inside you. Difficulty loving another person. And then we have the disorganized. There is no longer working model because all coping strategies are broken. The disorganized is like not there. What do we mean by disorganized? Meaning like maybe the mother is busy all the time with her work. She is not there. She is always outside. So the baby or the kid has no one at home, feeling lonely, just living on his own, okay? And sometimes he's being all of a sudden lovable, and, you know, he's very confused. So this is no system at all, and he doesn't know what to expect, you know? And there is a sentence which really affected me, that a child is maybe trying to eat more or something because he is very unsure if he can't find the same food next day. So this is how all about disorganized. He may feel insecure, of course, that he wants to take the best of everything now because I'm not sure what will happen next. You see, is there resources for me next day? So this is really heartbreaking, you know, like he doesn't know what to expect. So this leads to engaging, being phony, like charming with people, and he wants their attention, but at the same time he may avoid eye contact, being very affectionate with stranger, because you see it in, subhanallah, with orphans. You know, when you go to visit some of the orphanages, you find this really very vivid, you know, very, very clear in their behavior. Like you may sit with someone and you just don't know why this child is very attached to you and wants even to go with you home or something, you know. And sometimes also they, on the other hand, lack the ability to give or receive affection. Sometimes you also go there and see another orphan. He doesn't receive any care from you whatsoever. And if you even express your love to her or, you know, affection, she just become indifferent. So this is how to disorganize this looks like. Exhibit extreme control problems, stealing from family, secret abuse, yeah, be destructive to self and others, lack kindness to animals, yeah, they may hurt animals, display erratic behavior, to lies, you know, have no impulse controls, lack cause and effect thinking, just do whatever and they don't think of their behaviors on others. Yeah, abnormal eating patterns, show poor peer relationships. They don't have any friends. Sister Saida saying disorganized question of stability, I guess. Yes. Also consistency. Yeah, exactly. And this is also very crucial. And we take it, we'll also explain it in other lectures, this lecture, if we have time, inshallah. Yeah, so sometimes you say this is the house rules, okay? And then the next day is broken, like nothing. So this is, yes, consistency, of course. Okay. And then, okay, you can watch this video when, inshallah, I'm distributing the presentation because I think we don't have time. So this is the video about inconsistent response to a baby's distress. You will see what's wrong with the behavior, and please share your insights after watching. I would love to have that in the group, inshallah. And this is an experiment which is very famous. I'm sure, inshallah, most of you have seen it. It's about attachment styles with being avoidant, secure, and disorganized. You will see in this room how the babies are reacting in the presence of the mother, and when the mother is leaving the room, how, and then she returns back, how the different attachment styles reacting differently to each mother, subhanallah. Now, I have to go very fast now. Types of parenting, like we have, yeah, these are authoritative, authoritarian, neglectful, permissive, overprotective, sometimes power struggle, and this is crucial actually. When you put yourself in a competition with your kids, with your children, no, I have to win. My you know, my sentence or my words have to be heard. You know, have and should and this kind of power struggle, we sure will lose it. We sure will lose it. You know, the more we are trying to control children, the more actually we lose them. And this has happened with me actually when I was, subhanAllah, when I started teaching and I didn't have much experience when I was younger. Then I went to the classroom and I started to shout and be very, you know, nervous because they started to have, you know, not listening to me and all. And the more that I shouted at the screen, the more it turned out to be in chaos, you know, because they sensed that you know, I'm not being in control of my emotions, and this is not right. Power struggle. Yeah, so Sister Saida is saying that is authoritative leadership. Yes, exactly. This is the best way of parenting style, and it's an Islamic principle, subhanAllah, and we will show you how. And this is talking about the balance that you mentioned, Sister, before. Yeah, so what is authoritative is high demand and high responses. You see, there is a balance here. So as I'm responding highly to them, I'm also demanding highly of them and putting my own standards or the Islamic standards. And then being child-centered, meaning that it's about how we manage their emotions, how we set clear boundaries, everything. But it's not about me. It's not like power struggle. It's not like you do this because of me, you know. And this is crucial. I see it in some mothers, you know, like they are trying to please the mother and forgetting that they should please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because if the kid is trying to please me all the time, then they will do whatever behind my back, because the main purpose is not being watchful of Allah. So if the children is being taught to be watchful of Allah, then this is the important thing. Being compatible to the Islamic educational system, as we said, rational use of punishment. Yes, the punishment has to be I say it consequences. This is what I prefer to say. Like if you do something, then it has consequence, not punishment. And yeah, this is my view. You know, so in that way he will learn more. I'll give you an example for that. If the kid, especially you know, older kid, like maybe 10 or 9 or 10 years old, and he's always depending on me waking him up to go maybe for a training session or something. So he just, you know, forgot and overslept or something. I will never go and wake him up. You know why? Because he has to learn from his mistakes. So why next time don't you set your own alarm and you just go ahead, be independent, you know? So there is a consequence. So when he just try to make sense of, I overslept, and this is make me missing my favorite part of the day, then next time he'll make sure that this alarm is set right on, you know. Then we have the permissive, which is low demand and high responses. Like I'm doing whatever I can to my kid, and there is no demand, never. So this parenting style appreciated in the West, you know, they always pampering their children. There is no boundaries, and so on. But Islamically, of course, is not incorrect. And you know, pampering parents, they lack determination. They are not being determined, and they are not being sure of themselves what the expectation should be. So there are consequences for this, like inappropriate behavior. The kids they are over pampered. They will risk of drug or alcohol use and being spoiled children. Okay. So sister Sayda saying that also leads us to one of the previous slides, follow through the punishment or consequences. Yes, exactly, sister, yeah. And then we have the authoritarian, high demands and low responses. This is, yeah, when we have hard punishment without clear explanation. And there is very famous statement when it comes to that. Do what I said because I said so, you know, there is no explanation, and you know, you feel the voice is very loud and very tense. So this is very repulsive for the kids and leads to excessive either submission or rebellion. And sometimes both. Submission in younger ages, and when it comes to teenage, they are being rebellious. They lose it. They can't handle it anymore. They are not the good child anymore, you know. And then we have the neglectful parenting, low demand and low responses. Like there is no interaction whatsoever. Most disastrous style of parenting is the neglectful one. Like the parents are not there. Don't give enough importance to the child, not enough weight to their emotions, feelings, opinions, beliefs. Some causes of that may be extreme poverty. Some of the parents are being narcissists, selfishness, or having different priorities. Maybe the mother is like dating or something, ignoring their kids, and so on. Consequences, lower psychosocial development. Of course, the kids are, suffering from psychosocial development and social achievement. There is no achievement at school because there is no one there to even follow up with them, Okay, now we have some of the unhealthy parenting signs, like ridiculing the child, conditional love, I love you because, and if not there, then I'm, stop loving you. I will not say it, but just I am delivering this. Okay, hypocrisy, like don't lie, and then when someone calls, tell her I'm not there. So being total hypocrite. Gender prejudice, of course, like ill treatment of kids, preparing boys over girls. This is disastrous, of course. Being judgmental, being criticizing others all the time, criticizing our kids all the time, unforgiving. No, I will never forgive you for doing that. You know that? This is not this time, and so on. This is very not healthy. Okay, so these signs, what are all of these unhealthy parenting style have on child? The good child, they either become a good child, okay, assumes that parental role, fragile personality, might develop into illness even. The kids might, hold a lot of emotions inside which develop him to be ill or having psychological problems. The masterpiece, let me just leave it to you, inshallah, and then you can read it because of time again. I'm sorry, I have to go forward. Yeah, I just also skipped this part, and then you can read it because I want to finish up, inshallah, within 10 minutes, bismillah. So the home environment. Now let's go back now for the solutions, suggested solutions from secular and Islamic application. First of all, the home environment, as we discussed, we should establish prayers, teaching and learning together, going to the mosque together, inviting righteous people, removing negative influences. So it doesn't make sense if I leave my child for exposing to excessive screen time and then tell him, come pray with me. They will never, because they saw a lot of negative, they are being full of negative influences. They will never feel even pray or hear the word pray, Home provides shelter, protection, privacy, and enjoyment. They have to come home and feel being enjoyable. Do something out of the routine. Go do something new every day. Develop your relationship with your kids. In a very small steps. You don't have to be like something big. No, just small steps every day. Based for developing and nurturing children with Iman, of course, parents should ensure that the home offers an environment in which Iman may grow and flourish. Okay, house rules. One active house rule at a time, no more than 2. So if you start making rules, just have it step by step. Don't overload yourself, or overwhelm your kids. Just two rules a week to follow if they are not following, What are good house rules? There shouldn't be a need for many rules because they get distracted. Practice them and create posts together. Laminate these house rules, make them sorry. Okay, make them consistent. Let them share the house rules. Okay, yeah, exactly. Sister Saida saying. Plus, in today's world, spend time with the kids. Exactly. Don't. Let's be honest. We also have excessive internet use. Okay, we don't have time for them. So why we should ask them to have time for us? The house rules should be 100% consistency. So if it's no means no, that's it, because we already discussed it. Now, no is no here is applicable because we already discussed it. We already had it in a fun way. You participated in the rules by yourself, you know, and then you have token economy. This is one of the psychology trick here is like, you know, having like a token and then praise them for each good behavior they have, and at the end of the week exchange it with a privilege, some of the privileges, you know. And please don't over gift them. Don't give them gifts, a lot of gifts, a lot of no, just you know, a tap on the shoulder. This is considered a reward, you know. Having a meal together, this is considered a reward. So they won't get greedy on something, okay? And then teamwork, of course, include the kids to have and write the rules. Family team building exercises. This is amazing for you know, establishing connection with the sisters and brothers. Love language. These are some of the games that you can search online. Attain knowledge regarding Islam, have a library full of Islamic research, books, and read it together. Study circles inside the home. Encouraging children to participate and share their knowledge. Let them do this, the speaking, let them have lectures, let them go to charity organizations and participate there or share their emotions, you know. Yeah, and public behavior. Stay easy. You know, this is what I love. Before you go and have scenes outside home, just make clear expectations before you go outside home. For example, if you're going to visit your family relatives or someone, okay, clear expectations. So I want you today, when we go there, to be calm. If you want to ask me something, please come ask me in private, and you know, in a very soft and nice way. You know, make it enjoyable, not make it into instructions. I'm sure that they will love it, and praise them. Okay, I'm sure I depend on you today, and even if you are not, because we are not angels, you know. Even if you are today full of anger or upset, or you don't have time for kids, your kids, anything, right? We are human. You just talk to your child, you know, tell him, okay? So I'm sorry, today I'm not feeling well. I'm not emotionally stable. Can you please accept that? Can you please, you know, I depend on you to be, you know, understandable of that. I may not respond to all of your questions right now. In that way, you know, he knows what you are going through. He will appreciate it and will definitely will love to help you, you know. So also there's a many, you know, very important thing is lots of labeled phrases, you know. Now is labeled phrases. Wow, I see you're sharing this with your relative. It's very kind of you. You know, they get this confidence, especially in front of people. So praising is works wonder here, actually. 1 second, I'm just try to. So now here, there are common. I intended to do this as an activity, but there is no time. I'm sorry for that. What's the common maladaptive thinking patterns that we as parents do? My child should always be happy, and there is the responses here. If my child fails, it means I've failed as a parent. This is core beliefs, okay? And how we can respond to that. Now I'll show you some of the techniques to try, inshallah, to overcome this unhelpful behavior, which is called CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. This is identify triggers and make a plan. So what are the triggers that you experience and is being repeating itself over and over again. We all have dynamics and we all have triggers. So what are they? For example, here, like disobedience. A child repeatedly ignoring my instruction or refusing to follow through can trigger feelings of helplessness or anger in a parent. Okay, so what's the plan? What would I do? I will plan ahead and clear any misunderstanding within myself. I'm not going to do this with my kids. I'm doing it with myself first. And then practice patience and active listening, and will avoid lecturing and practice controlling my temper with the child in certain situations, be very specific. Okay, and then I will remember Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam with his son Ismail alayhi salam. He was always, he's a great father. He was always taking his advice, taking his, can you imagine even an order given from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He's discussing this with his child. Can you imagine this? So how about daily life decisions? It's nothing compared to Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. So keep that in mind and write specific scenarios where you are being triggered by anger or losing your temper, and then make an alternative scenario with your kid in a calm way, and then follow through when the situation arises. I'm sure that you will, inshallah, 100% be more aware and control of your emotions. And I've done it by myself, by the way. So I had a temper when I was driving, for example. So because driving here in Egypt is a disaster. So I started to make this. Alhamdulillah, it's been years back, alhamdulillah. And before going outside, I'm fully prepared. Okay, I will let everyone do whatever, and I'm being calm and stuff like that. So alhamdulillah, it will work, inshallah. So this is the 2-step, right? Exact situations that triggers conflict, replace them with positive scenarios or responses. Yeah, this is here also another one, which is very helpful, is identify the problem, recognize negative thoughts, challenge negative thoughts, reframe, and behavioral change. All right, may I share it, Sister Anisha, on the group afterwards?
Yes, inshallah. This could be mailed as well. Those who have registered, inshallah, we can share them, this PPT along with the recording. That can be done, inshallah.
Inshallah. But I would like to add it as voice recording. I want to explain this because of time. So maybe, inshallah, I will share it on the group.
Yeah, that would be great, inshallah. If you could send a voice recording. Yeah, that would be.
Inshallah. So I give you a very specific example so you can, inshallah, understand them more, bi'idhnillah. Okay, so Sister Saida says I'm in main SIP group, not in Tarbiyah. So can we ask Sister Anisha permission to add?
Absolutely. Sister Sayyid, if you could confirm that you have registered for the lecture. At the bottom of the mail, I have added the link for the ISIP Tarbiyah group, WhatsApp group. So you can click onto that and join, inshallah.
Okay,
so if you just confirm that part.
Okay, inshallah. So remember, the goal of CBT is not to change the situation, and this is very important, because therapy is not about changing the whole environment, and we are everything is wonderful, amazing. No, you may experience the same situations as it is, but perspective shifting is the key here. How you see situations, how you see people, and all of that. Okay. All right. Now we have Wheel of Balance is amazing also, and I give you a free copy of this psychology tool online. I provided the link below. This is crucial when we have to interact with our children. You have to take care of yourself because you can't pour from an empty cup. This is very important. So you divide your life into money and finance, career, health, fun, environment, homework, community, family. All of these aspects within yourself has to be in some certain ways fulfilled. So here I'll just explain very quickly. The exercise here, you can print out this web, okay? and see each of your, for example, money and finance in your life. How does it, how satisfied are you in this area of your life? So you're just going to put like from 1 to 10, rate yourself, okay? And other factors. So the end of the web should be looking like the other one here in blue. So you can see here an example. She's suffering from finances very low, and she is developing in environment and community is very high, which is 8, and so on. So when you notice the lack of imbalance, you can start working on them. So Sister Sayda saying, what's the ideal wheel? It's a very smart question. The ideal wheel is actually again about balance. Okay, so there is no right or wrong answers. It's just how you feel and sense, and your feeling of satisfaction in your life overall. For example, if I have money and finance, it shouldn't be like I have to be rich and millionaire and everything. No, but at least I have to maybe make some savings, start to plan smartly, expressing gratitude for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what I already have. I don't have to overwhelm myself, Yeah, exactly. Like it shows strength and weaknesses and how to make the balance, or just an indicator to take care of some area in our life. Yes. Okay, so here's the example, the explanation here, Sister Saida, for the wheel of balance. Physical, what can I do every day? Maybe walk for 3 minutes. It doesn't have to be big, Don't overwhelm yourself. Just very small steps. Connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When it comes to connecting with Allah is crucial here. There is no, talk about it. And please don't feel guilty. Subhanallah, Islam is the only religion that all of our actions is ibadah. Cooking is ibadah. Raising your children is ibadah. Visiting a friend, talking on the phone with a friend for the sake of Allah is ibadah. Subhanallah. So don't feel guilty that you can't read the Quran much. Don't feel guilty that you can make a long night prayers, for example. Just enjoy life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to feel joy of life. Islam is all about joy of life. Because why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is creating a lot of beautiful flowers, and you see, mashallah, beautiful countries out there, because Muslim community now is all about being depressed, and dunya is the prisoner for the believers. Yeah, this hadith is taken out of context actually, because the Prophet ﷺ is the great example of all people. So he's talking about maybe people in Palestine. This hadith will go amazing, align with their problems, as being sorry. Yeah, as being to comfort them, But alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us the blessing of having a balanced life. We have to work in our emotional development, not be depressed, so we can help people everywhere in Palestine and the Muslim Ummah better when we are not, feeling depressed, right? Emotional, of course, as we said, you can have tasbih instead of meditation that they are, always, expressing about meditation and benefit of it. You can have just tasbih, or even have long sujood in our prayers. It's amazing, Engage in activity with joy and relaxation, set boundaries with others, again, mental health is amazing. Okay, the last thought, alhamdulillah, we are about to conclude now. Avoid overwhelming yourselves. Okay, there are zillions of parenting theories which make it impossible to follow all, and not every theory is applicable for all. no comparison, please. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created each one of us unique and yet imperfect. We all imperfect. Dua is magic power. So we have to rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us make the right decisions every day. We are doing our best. Results is on Allah. We are being rewarded for our efforts, not the results. Okay? Embrace self-compassion, accept mistakes, please. They are blessings. Mistakes either from our side or from our children. They give us opportunity to learn and develop. Imagine there is no mistakes at all. How can we develop? You are not expected to be perfect 24/7 all the time. I'm the perfect mother. I'm regulating my emotion all the time. No, this is not real, actually, and it leads to more anxiety and leads to more stress. Subhanallah. Okay, perfection belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. And this session, I gave it only on this first principle with self-image to teenagers, you know, because they obsessed with being having whiter skin, having fairer skin. And subhanallah, Allah created us beautifully with all our skin colors. And subhanallah, it's reminding us of, I'm sorry, I got emotional. Yeah, because, you know, I see teenagers, they are destroyed, you know, by the self-image outside, having perfect bodies, having perfect everything. And subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to give us a clear message that we are not being perfect. And even the imperfection in our bodies is daily reminder of Allah perfection. Subhanallah. So forgive me if I'm being emotional, because I see this with kids all the time, and even adult people. We are being very harsh on ourselves, and even the parents, they are being very harsh on the children. You know, they are making high standards. Some parents, they are making high standards for children to follow. Very high standards. Why? Why is that? We are human. We make mistakes. You know. So, and the last one is avoid projecting your unfulfilled dreams, please, into your children, and be thankful for Allah. Yeah, like, you know, subhanallah, I experience a lot of mothers, they want to be something to their children and put more pressure on them. And if they have missed one mark at the exams, they just, you know, like, subhanallah, a hell, you know. So why is that? And be thankful for the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us, because you see, the daily reminder of us is people in Palestine again, because subhanallah, they are amazing families and children. So if we are being pampered with our own expectations and, you know, what we want to do, what we want to achieve, and then what these people will say, subhanallah, with their resilience, with their courage, subhanallah. Okay. Yeah, so compassion is actually is all we need, alhamdulillah. And yeah, and this is the resources. And subhanallah is also, there is attachment styles, which is will replicate our attachment style with our children. There is attachment style with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Yaqeen Institute did this amazing test, so you can go online and do it. What is your spiritual attachment style with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? There was amazing sister, she sent me a private message. She told me that she wants sexual education, how we deal with that. And this is very important. And inshallah, I hope inshallah we can cover in lectures, other lectures, inshallah, because this is crucial, subhanallah. There is a book with a lot of activities for children, and I'm doing that, alhamdulillah, in a workshop. Is called The Change on Me. And we have to not make the children feel shameful of their body or shameful of talking. with us openly, because believe me, they will go, and of course you all know that, they will go to other untrusted resources and get the information they need wrongly, which will affect them forever, you know. And positive psychology tool, the wheel of balance, which I sent, alhamdulillah, and attached the link. How to handle parenting burnout, I found very important, and our emotional regulation. Effective strategies for parents in mitigating parent-adolescent conflict. I wrote this article, and inshallah, I hope inshallah it will be helpful. I will send it as well. And there was Sister Anisha, I'm not sure of that, but there was a survey, and there was parenting style survey. So that was the scoring. Do you want me to share that?
Yes, yes, I think that would be great if you could share it.
Okay.
What we can do, you can send me all the details, all the resources. I can mail the
Yes.
participants.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you.
That can be done. Even if the link, if it's not clickable over here, we can send me separately so that people can click onto it and get the information from there itself. Yeah, that can be done, inshallah.
Inshallah,
Right.
inshallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, that we are done, alhamdulillah. So Jazakumullah khairan for attending, for having the patience to listen to me, alhamdulillah. I hope inshallah it's for the sake of Allah.
Jazakallah khairan, Sister Dalia. It was an amazing lecture. Lot to learn and lot to observe from here. Even participants loved it a lot. I can see the enthusiasm in the chat box, in the voice mail through voice. They were able to reciprocate their learnings. Inshallah, we will be learning a lot more in the upcoming lectures.
Inshallah.
And the resources will be shared, the videos will be mailed, inshallah. All of those things be taken care of by me, inshallah. No worries. So I would ask you, Sister Dalia, to end the session. Dua.
Okay.
I think you can connect us spiritually to today.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. I hope inshallah it will be sincere, and inshallah I hope that your homes are filled with joy and happiness, and you raise beautiful kids to serve the ummah.
Ameen.
You know, because I feel like
You are a wonderful
we
lady,
are
Sister Dalia.
being behind, you know, we are being behind, and we are seeing our kids very drawn with Western culture, you know, and I see this, and you know, we're trying, inshallah, to do something for that, because they are brilliant kids, you know, and I wonder what is our fault, or what is, inshallah, we're trying to, you know, develop ourselves so we can attract them to us again, and we can have them participate in the ummah. And subhanallah, you know, the situation in Palestine, for example, we are completely, you know, disconnected from the ummah. They're not only in Palestine, in Sudan, in many other places, subhanallah, in India, in many ways. So Muslim ummah is very isolated and disconnected. So inshallah, I hope that we can bring us together, inshallah, and do something for the Muslim ummah, bi'idhnillah. So the Prophet ﷺ will be, you know, happy with us, inshallah. بإذن. So can you, sister, please make dua? I've done my part. I'm being very emotional. I apologize for that. So please, you
I just
can
want to
go ahead.
let you know, Sister Dalia, that
Yes,
you're not alone in this journey. The knowledge which you have imparted to us today, it's going to be there with us throughout our lifetime. And you are an amazing lady. I know you personally, how amazing works you are doing, mashallah, Allah, tabarakallah. So may
Jazakallah
Allah
khair.
bless you, Allah, mabarak laha.
Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah
And
khair.
whoever we are today, Allah was able to make us connect through you. Was an amazing journey itself, and we are learning a lot from each other. And you are never on this journey,
Jazakallah khairan for
inshallah.
your
So I'll
words.
just In- Inshallah. I'll just read Surah Asr today. I think it's a little
Yes,
emotional for all of us today.
yes. Mm.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Al-Asr innal insana lafi khusr illa allazina amanu wa amilus solihati wa tawassaw bil haqqi wa tawassaw bis sabr. I think we are good to go now. Inshallah, in the next meetup we will be able to connect further.
Inshallah.
Jazakallah khairan to all the participants to be with
Yeah,
us,
amazing.
to stick to this lecture. I can understand how amazing this has been. Like we could not able to, withdraw our eyes and ears from the lecture. It was so good. So
Alhamdulillah.
yeah, alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum
Jazakallah khair.
everyone.
Alaikum
Jazakallah
salam,
khair.
Jazakallah khairan, sister. Excellent talk. The best in a long time. Inshallah, we'll meet next time. Jazakallah khairan. And
Jazakallah
salaam alaikum.
khair. Jazakallah
Wa
khair.
alaikum
Assalamu
assalam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum
Stay
assalam.
calm. Stay calm.